Research Methods in Education, Chapter 2. Mixed Method Research. Structure of the chapter. Definitions of mixed method research. Why use mixed method research? The foundations of mixed method research. Paradigms and the commensurability problem in mixed method research. Working with the mixed method approaches. Mixed method designs and data. Reliability and validity in mixed method research. Mixed method research questions. Sampling in mixed method research. Mixed method data analysis. Timing and writing of the data analysis in mixed method research. Stages in mixed methods research. What is mixed in mixed method research? The number of methodological approaches used, the number of strands or phrases in the research, the type of implementation process in the research, the stages at which the integration of approaches occur, the priority given to one or more methodological approaches, the purpose and function of the research study, the theoretical perspectives in the research. 4 domains of mixed method approaches. Philosophical assumptions and stances. Assumptions about ontology, the nature of the world, epistemology, how we understand and research the world, and the warrants we use in validating our understanding. Inquiry designs, purposes and research questions, designs, methodologies of research, sampling, data collection and analysis, reporting and writing, guidelines for practice, how to mix methods in empirical research and in the study of phenomena, social-political commitment, what and whose interest, purposes, and political stances are being served. Foundations of mixed method approaches. Pragmatism. What works in practice in answering the research questions? For example, observable consequences and success in practice. Research is judged by whether it has found out what the researcher wants to know, regardless of whether the data and methodologies are quantitative or qualitative. Mixed methods include numbers measurement, case study, historical documentary, virtual words, meta-analysis, survey, interview, ethnography, observation, experiment, and action research. Concerns in mixing, ontologies, whether and how it is possible to combine different ontologies, epistemologies, whether and how it is possible to combine different epistemologies, research purposes, whether and how it is possible to combine the wish to have research which seeks causal explanations with that which seeks understanding and interpretation. Practical orientation, whether and how it is possible for research to be directed both towards producing solutions, techniques, and technologies, and towards developing critical understanding. Designs, whether and how it is possible to combine interventionist designs, for example, experiments with non-interventionist designs, for example, naturalist research. Data, whether and how it is possible to combine text and numbers. Methods, whether and how is it possible to combine different methods of collecting and or analyzing data. Mixed method research designs, parallel design, convergent design, sequential, multi-stage, multi-phase design, combined sequential design, explanatory design, exploratory design, embedded design, transformative design. Parallel design. Both qualitative and quantitative approaches run simultaneously, but independently in addressing research questions akin to the familiar notion of triangulation. Convergent design. Qualitative and quantitative data are transformed in a parallel mixed design to address research questions. Sequential, multi-stage, multi-phase design. Quantitative and qualitative data are integrated at different levels of the research. Combined sequential design. One or other quantitative and qualitative approaches run one after the other, as the research requires, and in which one strand of the research or research approach determines the subsequent strand or approach, and in which the major findings from all strands are subsequently synthesized. Explanatory design. Quantitative data are usually collected first, followed by qualitative data to explain the quantitative data. It is important for the researcher to identify which parts of the quantitative data need to be explained and how they can be explained. Exploratory design. Qualitative data are usually collected first, typically with a small sample, with quantitative data from a larger sample used to generalize the findings. Embedded design. Each research question required both quantitative and qualitative data, and qualitative data may be added to, embedded in, or supplemented by quantitative data. Transformative design. In critical theory, there is an explicitly political or ideological social intention or agenda to advance the social justice for the group or groups under study. In this collaborative participatory type of research, the quantitative data precede qualitative data to address research questions. Reliability and validity in mixed method research. Tenets of validity in quantitative approaches. Tenets of validity in qualitative approaches. Tenets of reliability in quantitative approaches. Tenets of reliability in qualitative approaches. Mixed method research questions. Will a single method on its own be appropriate or sufficient to answer or address this research question? If the answer is yes, then why consider MMR? If the answer is no, then what is needed from the quantitative and qualitative elements in order to answer the question or problem? And where should they be mixed or kept separate? Ensure that you have a strong mixed method research question. For example, what and how? What and why? Sampling in mixed method research. What sampling strategies will be used for which elements of the research? Will the same or different samples be used in both the quantitative and qualitative element? How will the quantitative and qualitative samples be chosen? Will the qualitative sample be drawn from the sample used in the quantitative element? Will the qualitative sample include but add to the sample used in the quantitative element? Will the quantitative sample be drawn from the sample used in the qualitative element? Will the quantitative sample include but add to the sample used in the qualitative element? At what point in the research will the samples be drawn? For example, when will you decide who the sample will comprise? Will the samples for the quantitative and qualitative elements be of the same or different sizes? Will the same or different samples be used for the same research questions and issues under study? Types of sample: parallel mixed method sampling, sequential mixed method sampling, multi-level mixed method sampling, stratified purposive sampling, purposeful random sampling, nested sampling designs. Mixed method data analysis. The purposes of data analysis during and after the research process. How to analyze the quantitative and qualitative data. How to apply constant comparison to compare data. Whether and why to analyze quantitative and qualitative data separately, independently, or together. The sequence and timing of the data analysis. Whether, why, and how to use the analysis of one kind of data to inform subsequent data collection and analysis. Whether, when, where, why, and how to relate, connect, merge, and or integrate data and data types. Whether, where, how, and why to quantize qualitative data and to qualitize quantitative data. How to combine, compare, and represent the different types of data in answering a research question. Which data in the data analysis have greater priority, why, and how to represent and address this. What to do if the results from analysis of one kind of data contradict, support, refine, qualify, extend those of another kind of data. What to do if reanalysis of all the data is required? What to do if inadequate, insufficient, or weak data are found? How to combine data if they derive from different sampling strategies and different unequal sample sizes, types, and people? Stages in mixed method research. Decide the purpose of the research. Decide the nature of the phenomenon or problem to research such that MMR is the most appropriate approach. Decide the research questions, ensuring that they can only be answered by the provision and analysis of mixed data. Decide what is to be mixed in the MMR: ontologies, paradigms, epistemologies, axiologies, theories, theoretical frameworks, research designs, methodologies, and approaches, data types, data collection, instruments and methods, sampling, data, data analysis, interpretation and reporting, types of validity, validation, and reliability. Decide the stages and phases of the research, where the mixing will occur in these stages and phases, and which kinds of methodologies and data are preeminent at each stage or phase. Decide data collection, quantitative and qualitative, and their inner interrelations. What kind of data are required from whom, when, and what stage and phases? design the data collection instruments and the sampling, collect the data, plan the data analysis, including the function of data analysis. Example, formative, summative, and ongoing record. Which data have a priority? When and where, the timing, for example, ongoing at the end of each phase, at the end of the entire project, and sequence of data analysis. Conduct data analysis. Be clear on which data, from whom, and when the data and their analysis will be mixed, rated, have to separate, interactive, when to commence analysis overall and by stage or phase. Decide how to organize and write the research report, for example, by phase, by data types, will to integrate data types. Write the research report. Thank you. See you next chapter.